Usually when they come in, I'm very warm. I try to shake their hands, comment on their children if they have them or whatever. Ask them to sign in politely, not demandingly,
Okay.
but make sure that they sign in. And as we all know, that's where, a lot of people put down whatever they wish. A lot of times it's not the right email, et cetera,
Sure.
or it's not readable. So as they're going through the house, sometimes if it's not really busy, I'm kind of in different rooms with them and, kind of pointing out different features of the house, et cetera, trying to show them around. And at the same time, I'm trying to get to know them. So I kind of, say, oh, have you been in the area long? Are you currently renting? Or, try to feel them out and not be real pushy about it, but just kind of try to get to know where they're coming from.
Yes.
And then I offer the fact that I'm very lucky that my agency has a lot of open houses right in my own hometown. So, I also point out that I've been here for 18 years. If there's anything they'd like to know about my hometown, I'd be happy to help them with. And, also point out I have all kinds of brochures and flyers, et cetera, that may not even be real estate related, but just things about the community.
Yeah.
And I say, feel free to, because I want to get the idea across that I'm an expert without pounding it in their head verbally.
Without selling yourself. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, good. So that's a good setup. This will help you guys, whether it's an open house or any type of interaction with a client. And I wrote down 3 things here. I wrote down status, control, and trust, because those are the issues. First of all, don't be afraid to establish control from the very beginning. Here's what I mean. This is a private residence owned by somebody else. This is your open house. You, as an expert, set the rules. And the ground rules are this. Mr. Visitor, thank you so much for stopping by. I do it in a polite way. It doesn't need to be arrogant, pushy salesperson. But in a very confident way, I establish ground rules. I would say, thank you very much for stopping by. Would you please fill out the guest register completely and make sure it's legible? Thank you. And the way I'm positioned, my table, my body, it is clear that that's a barrier they need to pass through to enter the house. It is non-negotiable. I'm not nice about it. I don't try to suck up to them or anything. I simply inform them that in order for them to view the house and get the information, they have to fill it out completely and legibly. That's it.
I'm saying I usually get them to sign in. It's just not legible. And I always wonder, should I say that? But then I don't want to offend people.
Absolutely. And they do it on purpose. They do it on purpose. And I'll make it clear, if this is not legible, you're not going to come in. It's really that simple.
Okay.
But we just want the price. I understand. Would you please fill out the guest register? And I smile. I'm cool about it. I don't make a big issue out of it. But it's very obvious that if they don't do what they're told, they're not coming in. Here is why, and you may say, well, gee, isn't it kind of being an asshole? Here is why I try to be very high status firm about it. Control, status. See, if I don't establish control from the very beginning, either I'm going to end up with a client who's going to drive me crazy later, and we all have had clients like that, right, Fran? Say yes. Number one. Or number 2, it's going to be clear that they can do whatever they want. They can put whatever information they want. That's not how we play this. So it is perfectly all right for me if they turn around and walk out. Because now I saved myself a hassle and a headache working with idiots, working with non-qualified people, or people who have issue with control. Because that's not my ideal client. I don't want to work with people like that. I work with people who follow my lead, and I establish it from the very beginning. I do it in a very pleasant way, very comfortable way, but also there is no ambiguity about it. You fill this out, it's going to be filled out nicely so somebody can read it, and you're coming in if you refuse to do so. And if I read it and I can read it, if it's a terrible handwriting, I would literally take the pen and say, give me your email again, please. This is not legible. I would point it out. I would call them on it immediately. What status do I establish? Who is in control?
I see.
I am, no question about it. These are my rules, my open house. This is not your property. And I respect if they choose not to fill it out. Save me a lot of time. Because a lot of these people are flakes. A lot of these people have ulterior motives. A lot of these people I would never want to work with. I wouldn't want to work with buyers to begin with. Because I'm going to select only those who need to sell something first or want to buy that particular property. That's it. The rest, I'm not that interested. It's a waste of time. I don't want to waste my time. You know what I mean? So I'm perfectly all right with people who turn around and don't fill it out, who make it too difficult. I would say, please leave. You're not welcomed here. But that requires a certain level of confidence to do that. You know what I mean? Are you getting it?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Now, so if I establish this from the beginning, it's going to be a lot easier later. Because now it's clear who is the expert, who is in control, who is the client. And I understand where they're coming from, because they get pounded by all these salespeople and all these real estate agents trying to just squeeze them, put them in the property and make a buck, or sell the property just to make a commission. So people, we as an industry, unfortunately, don't have the best reputation. So I understand their behavior. But by being confident, by being in control, I'm clearly demonstrating I'm different. I don't need to sell it. I don't need to tell it to them. No need to say that. It is obvious through my behavior. They encountered a different real estate agent, an expert, a guide, a counselor, not a desperate salesperson. Now, it is very important, and this is not just in open house, this is in any interaction. The first 4 seconds are absolutely critical. Because what's going to happen is in psychology and human interaction, social science, there is an event that takes place between two strangers. It's called frame collision. That means you test each other to establish social hierarchy. This is built into our DNA. We've been doing it for millions of years. It is to establish who has the control, who has the power, who has the high status. These two frames collide. You and your client collide. Now, this is not a antagonistic, like let's punch each other in the face to see who's stronger, although sometimes you may feel like it when a buyer is a real asshole, but that's neither here nor there. You get my point. They collide,
yes.
And it's very quickly established who is in control. What you described, Fran, tells me that the buyer is in control, not just through the words, but through the behavior, where they're just wandering through the property, maybe talking to you over the shoulder, feeling, maybe you get the sense that you're a pest, you're pestering them. That's why you try to be too nice to them, to provide information, to have them like you. Big mistake. You need to turn it around. And this is not as much communication as it is psychology. You turn it around because you're the high status. You're the expert. You're the guide. You have the answers. You have what they're looking for. You provide that. You're the prize. Not them. They chase you. You don't chase them. You set the rules. You set the parameters. You walk them through the experience. This is what's going to happen. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So you got to flip it around. And you flip it around in communication as well. And it's established right there at the guest register. And if they refuse, they walk. So you're going to end up, instead of 20 people who are going to fill it out, you may have 10. But now you have 10 you can work with. The purpose of the open house, very seldom you're going to convert somebody right away, whether it's an open house, a FSBO, or an expired listing, where after a few minutes of interaction, they're going to go, oh, we love you, where do we sign? That seldom happens. You're going to need a little bit of a follow-up, a little bit more interaction in most cases to get to that point. That's why the guest register is so essential. Because you get home that night, first thing they're going to get is a nice thank you card. Second thing they're going to get is maybe a text or a phone call from you. Great meeting you today. Sorry things got a little busy. How can I help? You get that?
Yeah, and I usually do that. I follow up with an email. Sometimes I even text if they're
now,
younger
I would flip
crowd.
it around, Fran. Email would be my last choice. Email would be the very last. Here is why.
All right.
How many emails per day do you get on average on a busy day?
Yeah.
Would you say 50, 80?
40? Me? Over 100.
100. There you go. Everybody else does.
Yeah.
Everybody else does.
Yeah.
So email is very disposable. It's more of an annoyance, more something cumbersome. You have to clean up your inbox every day from all the junk. Do you think they open their email going, oh my God, look at that. Fran is emailing us. Thank God. Can't wait to read what she's saying. Honey, pull over. Get me my phone. You know what I mean? I know you're a nice agent and you're trying really hard and you do right by your clients, but that's the reality. You know? So,
no, I totally.
Email is at the end.
Agree with you.
You want to get a conversation going, because it is during the conversation that has started in the open house and then continues with the text and phone. You will discover what is it they're trying to do. Are they WAR client? WAR, W-A-R, willing, able, and ready. They need to qualify all three. Plus, they need to be nice people. They need to be pleasant. They need to be agreeable. They need to be pleasant to work with. Not to mention qualified. So willing, able, ready, and nice. That's what you want to establish first during that conversation. So you ask them a few questions. How long have you been looking? How much did you sell your house for? One of the most essential questions you need to ask. Here's what you find out.
If you can identify what they're looking for, then you can address the issues of,
that's
giving
exactly
them
right.
information.
But there is one more thing about that question that will help you immediately. Is this just a buyer? Is it a seller and a buyer? Is their property listed? Do they have an agent? Has it been sold yet? Where are they in the process?
Okay, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Very important question to ask. The best answer you want to get, the answer you're looking for is, well, we're just getting ready to get our house on the market. That's perfect. That's what you want. Because if it's already listed, there's a good chance they have a relationship with another agent, not somebody you really want to butt in. If they're first-time buyer and stuff, if you want to work with buyers, against my advice, I know many of you still do it, even though I tell you not to, that's fine. If their house is already sold and closed, you need to find out what's going on, why they haven't bought another one, and again, do they have a relationship with another agent, and can you help them in some way, okay? So you get into a conversation about how soon they want to buy, what do they want to do, and most importantly, what is their core driving emotion? Why are they doing it in the first place? Because they will tell you how realistic they are, how motivated they are. Can you work with them? Is it really worth your time and effort? That's the most important asset you have, is your time. You don't want to invest so much time working with a client that at the end turns out to be either a dud, or they can't buy, or they change their mind, they're wishy-washy or unrealistic, all that stuff. So those are the important questions to ask during the follow-up, and it must be a conversation. Now, if they brush you off, if they're not open to it, I would ask them, is this a bad time? Or I know you're probably talking to agents, and some of them it's not the most pleasant experience, but I'm just trying to figure out if I can help. As if, this is mutually beneficial thing. Okay? Helpful?
Helpful. Very helpful.
Cool. Anything else?
No, it just trying to, I know that a lot of people come away from it and they'll say, well, they've got, like actual people responding to them. And that's where, I kind of fall flat. Everyone's saying, oh, this is great information. And, I'm talking about property taxes and how I can help them there. And I guess I'm pushing too hard.
What do you mean by that? You're pushing too hard?
From the start. Well, because I'm trying to feel them out. I mean, I always have them complete a survey at the end. I ask them to do that about the house so that I can give feedback. And purposely, I do that just in case. I also mentioned that there's a raffle. Hopefully that way they'll give a real email address as opposed to the one they put on there.
Now, notice how you're stuck on that whole email thing. Let that go. I would just go for the phone number. That's the most important thing. Now, here's what I would do. Phone number, Here's what I would do. As they give me the phone number on the guest register, as they're walking through the house, I would text them. Because if they don't get the text, they gave me the wrong number. Trust me, I'm going to hunt them down and say, wait a second, you might have made a mistake here. Because I tried to send you a text, you didn't get it. Call them on it. I would totally call them.
I don't know if I have the confidence to do that. I'm confident.
Well, exactly. It's going to come down to confidence. Now, at the beginning, I was scared shitless to do these things. I was scared shitless to ask somebody to fill out the guest register. So I was faking it.
Yeah.
But I realized that if I don't fake it, they're going to do their own thing and it's done, it's over. And I'm wasting a colossal amount of time preparing for the open house, putting the signs up, sitting there for 3 hours and not getting anything. So I figured might as well be uncomfortable, fake it, and just be confident. And if it's not genuine confidence, I will get there eventually. But until then, I'm going to fake it. But I'm going to follow the rules. And the rules are sign the damn thing or you're not coming in. And if it's bad information, call them on it. You're in control. This is your show. They need you. This is more of an attitude than role play or anything else. We could role play this. And if we do it 10 times, I'm going to use 10 different words or 10 different approaches. Because this is not a matter of technique. This is a matter of attitude. What I would suggest, Fran, is read a book by Jen Sincero called You're a Badass. Because it will help you develop that sense of you are a fucking badass. You know a lot of cool stuff. You help a lot of people with some really important stuff. I mean, you help them sell their house. You help them move. You help them find a perfect home for their family. That's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So, grow some balls. Bring it on, baby. And yes, you're going to turn some people off. And yes, some people will be put off by it. Tough. You're not any worse off than you are now. Does that make sense? So read the book, You're a Badass by Jen Sincero. Adjust the attitude a little, bring it up a little. Now, I would also recommend practice this. Get somebody on the phone for a little while and practice these follow-up calls. Or you ask them a question, well, Frank, let me ask you, if you found the perfect house this weekend, are you guys ready to move? Are you excited? Where are you? Role play with me real quick. Little follow-up call, okay? So, Frank, let me ask you, if you found a perfect house this weekend, are you ready to move? Where are you guys? Can you tell me real quick?
Well, yeah, we're kind of ready to move, but we don't know exactly where we're going to go.
Is it the area that you're not sure about, or is it the home? What's holding you back?
Well, I'm not sure if my house is going to sell for what I think it's worth, and I'm hesitant about leaving the neighborhood with schools, you know, those kinds of things.
And I mean, it's a scary move. You know what I mean? To leave one home to find another. It's a big deal. This is not like you're buying shoes at Payless. You know, if they don't fit, you bring them back. It doesn't work that way, so I totally understand. Is your house for sale right now?
Well, we're thinking about it.
You're thinking about it. So it's not on the market yet, huh?
Not on the market yet, no.
Gotcha. So what's the main reason you're looking to live somewhere else? What excites you the most about the new home?
Well, I think that we need a little bit more space, and the kids are growing up, and you know they've kind of moved on with their stuff. But you know, that I kind of want to stay close because they have high school friends, so kind of want to maybe move out of this general area, but stay in the area for high schools.
So, what do you feel would be the next step? What information would help you be a little more comfortable deciding whether you're going to stay where you are or actually get a new home? Would it benefit you to know exactly what a buyer would pay for your home right now in today's market? Would that be helpful? This way you know where you stand. Would it even make financial sense for you guys to make a move? Because I'd be more than happy to send you that.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. Well, let's do this. Let me take a quick look at your house first, so this way I'm not shooting off a hip. I can give you exact, accurate numbers. This way, it's easier to make decisions once you know where you stand. How is your Tuesday afternoon? Can I swing by for about 10 minutes? Could you give me a quick tour on Tuesday?
Sure.
Okay, fantastic. I will verify the address, get the information, do a little 10-minute tour, and have a potential listing. That's it. Now, was there any pressure?
No.
Did I find out the core driving the motion? What is driving that? Somewhat. Not completely, but I got a good chunk of information where I can tell there's a good chance these people may do something. If the numbers make sense to them, and if they get over this whole attachment to the house where they probably spend a lot of time, years raising their family, that's going to be an issue that I have to watch for. But I would definitely go visit them and spend 10, 15 minutes chatting with them and look at their property. Yeah? And the next thing I would follow up with, well, general area. I mean, if you could have it anywhere you want, where would you pick a house? Where would you like to live? If money was not an issue. I know, Beverly Hills, of course. But I mean, within our area, where would you go? Now, just to point out, side note to all of you guys, I'm using humor deliberately to release tension. I build up tension, then I release it. And I use humor strategically to make them laugh, to bring a sense of comfort. Because that's something you normally do when you talk to friends on the phone. You crack a joke once in a while, you smile once in a while, so I do that. I do that on purpose. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
I know that a couple of the training sessions I was on, they always said talk with a smile.
Yeah, exactly. First you talk with a smile, so that
because people can hear that.
Very good. But also use humor once in a while. Now use it sparingly. You know, like a nice spice. Once in a while you throw it in there. So I would find out where would they like to go, what excites them about that home, and maybe bring a list of those properties just to kind of bring something of value that may excite them to go see them and list the home. Yeah? Good. You got this,
Sounds good.
Practice this a little. It's not that hard. You have a very nice, warm approach to people. I can sense that you're a people person. You are one who engages, who is helpful, who nurtures clients, which is great. That's a fantastic quality to have. What you need to add to it is a little more confidence, a little more control. You know, you got to wrap that soft hand in the velvet glove and then just hit hard. Do you understand what I'm saying by that? What I mean by that?
Yeah.
So it's a combination. Keep the heart. That's great. You want to help people and you want to be authentic and genuine about it. You just need to wrap it up in more confidence and control, more high status. Yeah?
Got it.
Awesome. Frank, great chatting with you. Thank you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks.
All right.